Panda anthem.
Ian, what's up?
Red Panda anthem.
Red Panda, what's good?
Red Panda anthem.
It's your boy.
And just like that, the recession is over. No worries. One day bounce to the upside. ES and Dow go up. Recession is over. Just kidding. I love you guys. Happy Monday. I hope you guys had an amazing weekend. Welcome to the greatest investing show on earth. Show that you guys made incredibly popular across the world. Market Mondays. I'm here to make investing easy for you. So a lot of you have asked historically, like, what's the origin of Red Panda? And the real answer is red, as illustrated by my baby, Xander Hay. Unanimously means the market is down, and panda is a version of a bear. And in these down markets, this is where we tend to do the best. So while everyone else is panicking, I always say the Red Panda, our season, are these catastrophic downslides, these recessions, these deep pullbacks. This is when we are going to do our best. So when we were at the JP Morgan event this weekend, and thank you to everyone who attended, I appreciate you all so much. I had a blast. I was leaving a long telegram note to the group, and my wise 7-year-old gave me some poignant advice, and he was like, "Dad, talk less if they don't listen." I said, wow, that's really like profound from a 7-year-old, right? And sometimes we can try and give too much, or, even in my case, show our intellectual aptitude too much to convince someone what to do. But often, the more knowledge that we have, the less we tend to do and execute. So I want you to start in chat and say and write, I don't need more information. I just need to fearlessly execute. We can go look at every recession. 29, 33, the ones in the 70s, mid-90s, 99, 2000. If you look and hold over a 10-year period, man, there isn't a period of time, if you hold for 10 to 20 years, if you hold a top 5 index or a top 5 company, that you will be down. But when you're in the thick of it, as many of us are, as some of you are, or if this is your first time investing into a recession, it feels like you're going 90 miles an hour on a highway with no brakes and no seatbelt. And I do want to tell you, it does get easier. Lesson number 1, please write this down. Inflation is the ultimate lever. Interest rates. We are now seeing, and we've talked about it before, we talked about it in season 1 of Market Mondays, how important quantitative easing was, right? But inflation really dictates, or interest rates, I should say, really dictates how the market is going to move. And I told you, in every investing strategy, you have to know what is the strength and weakness of that strategy. And I told everyone in Red Panda last year, I'm like, at what percentage rate does the 2-tech, 2-index strategy begin to deteriorate? And the answer was 15% interest rate, right? So you have to know the pros and cons of everything that you're going to invest in, and what seasons work incredibly well for that strategy that you have. But the number one thing that ends up affecting the market is what is the current interest rate of the environment that we are in. So if we look, 1% change in those interest rates usually changes the multiple of between 15 to 20%. And the actual Fed rate should be around like 2.3 to 3%. So when we had 10 years, 8 years of 0% interest, there was no way that was sustainable for a long period of time, especially if you read Ray Dalio's book, right? But now we are just getting back to normal conditions. And I told you guys last year, and even earlier this year in January, they are letting the NFT market, the crypto market, the real estate market, the used car market, all accelerate so people can have every opportunity and edge currently possible to make money. So when the market goes back to normal, They can say, hey, we did everything that we could. We printed all of this money. We gave stimulus checks. We allowed a low interest rate environment. And now only the true investors are going to do well in this market. The consumer confidence is at its lowest point in 10 years, but I'm going to be very honest with you. You should be most elated and excited to invest now. I know the axiom of be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. It sounds good until you actually get into an environment in which there's a lot of fear. But I will tell you, this does get easy. Please write this down. 2 tech, 2 index, no stress. Here's the great thing about an index fund. Imagine if I told you, I'm going to put you in 2 investments, and regardless of what the market does, some of the brightest people on earth are going to recalibrate it based on that environment. And you didn't have to do anything or pay anything more for it. It like automatically adjusted for you with algorithms and technology. You're like, man, that's amazing. But because they don't have a sexier name, some people tend to run away from them. But when you have, and now some of you are going to see the growth stocks that were in some indexes or ETFs are now going to get knocked off, and they're going to get replaced with the companies that are more sustainable. Elon Musk says that we're going to be in a recession for a year to 18 months. And I've told you this since October of last year. This is absolutely true. And we are going to hit a recession. Please put in chat the best time to invest into the market for the long term is during a recession. It was not when stocks were at their all-time highs and you're buying $1 off of the high. Now is the best time. Hold for a 10-year period. Minimum. Ideally, I want you to hold for 30. And later tonight, I know some of you are like, hey, I need cash flow now. But when you try to trade first, opposed to investing, when the trading doesn't go well, you don't have a backup plan or anything to fall upon to provide you security. For some of you that started in 2020, you had an absolutely amazing time and got into a great time. And even though this market is sliding now, you're still riding off the gains of 2020, let alone for those of us that began investing in 2008 or 9, or some of you that began investing in 2014. So I have to start tonight by saying, please focus on the long term first, because the job of our money is to have our capital work for us and us not to work for it.
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Ian, what's up?
This that Red Panda Anthem.
Rap Panda,
This
what's
that
good?
Red Panda Anthem.
Your
Whole
boy.
foot going up. I know they can't stand it.